Getting ungated on Amazon is completely different than what it was 2 years ago. And it's exactly why new sellers are stuck selling products with no margin. The money on Amazon is in the big brands, the gated ones, and most people never touch them. Now, most people trying to get ungated on Amazon are doing the same three things. Either applying with random invoices online, applying with receipts from retail stores, or waiting for their account to grow before they even try. And they're still getting declined. Here's why. It's not your account. It's because you're submitting invoices that Amazon doesn't recognize. And your application is getting passed through Amazon's system by robots. And we all know what that robot's answer. And the robot's answer is almost always no. You could have a perfect account and still get auto denied all day. I've personally sold some of the biggest brands on Amazon that most people think that they can never touch. While I've also personally helped tons of my students ungate some of the biggest brands on Amazon with little to no selling history. So here's the new way, and it comes down to your invoice source. Random invoices, retail receipts, that's why you're getting denied. What actually works is ordering from the right distributors that will provide you with an invoice. That way you don't have to rely on auto-ungated products that are gonna eventually plummet in price or skyrocket with sellers that's gonna make it impossible to make sales. So without further ado, let's jump right into the video. Cool, so now that I have my screen pulled up, I have a product from a brand that I've been actually wanting to sell on Amazon, and I wanna show you guys live the actual process that I could potentially use to get ungated for this brand. Now, before I even get into any of that, for all of you guys that might be new to selling on Amazon, I want to tell you what it actually means to get ungated on Amazon. You guys will find when you have a brand new Amazon seller account that most brands that you actually try to sell on Amazon are gated. The word gated means that you need to get approval from Amazon to sell this brand or category sometimes on Amazon. And as a lot of you might know, the ungating process on Amazon can be tedious, but hopefully I'll be able to crush that belief for all of you guys that might be struggling with it. So first things first, we're gonna wanna pull up a brand that you are actually trying to sell on Amazon. Before you even get into the ungating, you should actually find a brand, a product that is actually profitable. You've already checked all the data, you've already done all of that. The last thing that you should actually check when it comes to product sourcing is, am I ungated for the product? And how am I gonna get ungated? So what we're gonna wanna do is actually open up our software seller amp. If you guys don't have this yet, just download the Chrome extension, get the Getting Serious plan. It's like $27 a month. And as we can see right here, if we look over here, it actually says that the eligibility for me is restricted. Just because it says that does not mean that you cannot sell it. That means that you actually have to request approval to sell this brand. Cool, so once you actually click manual ungate, you should be directed to a page that looks like this. Basically, Amazon is telling us you need approval to sell this brand on Amazon. Sometimes it'll even show a category that you need to get approved to sell because, certain brands fall under certain categories that you will also need approval to sell in. But in this case, it's just the brand. So we're gonna click request approval. Cool, so now your page should look something like this. And Amazon is actually telling us to submit at least one purchase invoice for products from this brand from a manufacturer or distributor. You're never gonna get an invoice from a manufacturer. It's always gonna be from a distributor or sometimes even the brand. Amazon is gonna run down all of the requirements of what actually needs to be on this invoice in order for you to actually get approved to sell it. So these are the requirements that Amazon actually needs from us. This varies based on the brand that you're selling. So they need the date on the invoice and it needs to be within the past 180 days. It needs to have the name and address of the place that you're buying it from. And this varies based on the brand, but for this brand, we need to show a combined purchase of at least 100 units. Now, when a lot of people see that, they let that scare them. A lot of people think that that means that you have to spend thousands of dollars up front to request approval to sell the brand on Amazon, and that is not what that means. But basically, once we get this invoice, we would just attach it here, put in our email, our phone number, and submit it to Amazon. So what I'm gonna show you guys is how I'm gonna acquire an invoice that Amazon's actually gonna accept to actually sell this brand on Amazon that you guys can use to sell any brand on Amazon. So now we can start the process of actually acquiring an invoice. So this is the first thing I want you guys to do. I want you to search up the name of the brand that you're trying to sell on Google. And I want you to check, does the brand have an actual online website that you can buy from, that you can purchase from? And it definitely looks like it. If we scroll around their website, it looks like we can buy stuff. Yeah, great. Let me tell you guys, I want you guys to make this your first option when it comes to ungating brands on Amazon. You should always try and use the brand to actually get ungated on Amazon. Now, just because that the brand that you want to sell on Amazon has an online site doesn't mean that you can use it to ungate. There's a few things that we have to actually check to make sure that this is a good fit. So what we have to verify here is if they actually do provide invoices for online orders and not just an order confirmation, because it's completely different. Amazon wants an actual invoice. So there's a few different ways to check. What I'm gonna do is search up Yeti invoice. Literally just do that. So for the brand that you guys are trying to sell, just search up the name of the brand and invoice. And what I like to do is go over to Google Images and check if there's people getting invoices from the brand. And it looks like in this case, there is. There's one person right here that got an invoice. It looks like another person right here. So that tells me right off the bat, this brand most definitely has to provide invoices with online orders. Now, me personally, what I would do is I would want to verify if this is 100% true. There's a few different ways that you can actually go about verifying like 100% sure before you actually place an order to make sure that the brand that you're trying to sell actually provides an invoice. Even if you're not buying directly from the brand, if it's one of their authorized retailers, all these methods will 100% work as well. This is one that I like to do. A lot of websites have this, and it's a little chat tool right here. I'm gonna let this load up right here. It looks like they have some sort of AI virtual assistant. I'm just gonna ask, do you guys provide invoices for online orders? Let's see what they said. Just let it think for a second. Okay, so it looks like they can actually provide us a copy of the invoice for an online order upon request. So we have to request it from them. Another thing we can do to verify, is it an actual invoice or order confirmation? Because it's important. We have to find this out. Let's see what they say. Awesome. It would be an actual invoice, not an order confirmation. I love it. That's all the reassurance that I pretty much need to confidently ungate this brand using their website. Now, like I said, during the ungating process, you can either call up the retailer or you can use their chat tool. You can use any of these methods that I've taught you. So coming back to the number one issue that every seller struggles with, how do you get around this 100-unit ungate? So what I personally like to do is I like to go to the website and see if there's a sort all option. Basically an option where I can see every single product on the website. That's kind of my goal right here. Let me see if I can do that. Shop by category. Shop by category. Okay, there's so many categories. Okay, so what I will say is accessories is definitely a really, really good one. Let's go to that. Okay, perfect. So now that we're here at accessories, the reason why I say accessories and exactly how we get around these 100-unit ungates without breaking the bank is using this one method right here. What you guys should do, what I would say is accessories is the cheapest category for pretty much any item. So what I like to do is go to accessories or sort all, and I just set the price low to high, and I get shown their cheapest products that I can actually use to ungate. And you're always gonna wanna do this. There's no reason why you should use a $30 item to actually ungate. You're just trying to get approval to sell the brand. Once we actually get this invoice, submit it to Amazon, get approved, we can just return this back to them and then buy and sell our products profitably. Anyway, so I see that there's this decal right here. It's $5. So even if this product isn't on Amazon, that's totally fine. It just needs to show on the invoice that I'm purchasing their products and that of course it is from an authorized retailer or distributor. So what I'm gonna do is just add 100 of them to my bag. If you are on a website and it's only limiting you to like 10 per item, what I would do is just do 10 different of the cheapest items and add those to your cart so you have 100 in one order. So we're gonna do that. Looks like I can add 99 to my bag. So I'm just gonna add 99 of this, and then I'm gonna add another one of the other cheapest item as well. So let me go ahead and do that. Can add this. That's out of stock. Cool. This one's in stock right here. It's like a bottle opener. Cool, so I'm just gonna add this to my cart, and now we have, looks like 100 items in our cart now. So now we're only spending $515 to actually ungate this brand. Might seem like a lot to you guys, but if you are ungating brands, you should make sure that they are brands that are gonna make you a lot of money. And even then, we could just return this product back. Every store has like a different return policy and stuff like that, but that's usually what you can do. So all I would have to do is check out, purchase this 100 units. I'm gonna get my invoice from the brand. I'm gonna have to call them up, email it, and they will provide it to me. But let me tell you guys, the likelihood of the brand that you actually want to sell on Amazon of actually providing you with an invoice is a little low. And in that case, if the brand that you're trying to sell on Amazon, whether if the brand doesn't have their own website, or if you can't buy products from their website, or if they don't provide you with an invoice, what you can do is go to one of their authorized distributors or retailers as well. So in this case, what I like to do is search up Yeti authorized distributors. And we're gonna get provided with all these different retailers that we can actually look at and see if they can actually provide us with an invoice. So here's another one, Acme Tools, ACMA Tools. I can just search up ACMA Tools, invoice, and see if they provide it real quick. Go to images and see if we actually can get an invoice with our order. So I see some order confirmations. I'm not too sure about invoices. Oh, is this an invoice? This looks like an invoice right here. I see the word invoice. That's great. And another invoice right here as well. It looks like someone that was trying to use it for an ungate as well. So yeah, that's another thing right there. So now we know that this website can actually provide invoices with online orders. So yeah, we can 100% use this website as well. So my point here is, guys, is the brand that you're trying to sell on Amazon, whether if it's Colgate or Dove, if you can't get an invoice directly from the brand, you can always try one of their authorized retailers. Just verify, of course, if you can get an invoice from one of their retailers, and you can use that to ungate. Now let's say, for example, let me close out all these tabs right here that we don't need open. So what I'm gonna do, just to set an example, let's say, for example, I wanna sell Starbucks, right? So Starbucks probably has a website. We probably can't buy from it. Maybe we can. I mean, it looks like it just shows their menu. So if we go to Starbucks' website, they don't have like any items on here that we can actually buy. Like we can, like if you wanna order coffee or something like that, like, yeah, but this obviously is not gonna work for what we're trying to do. So in that case, what we would have to actually do is go to an authorized distributor. And what we're gonna wanna do is scroll through the options right here. Sometimes if I'm not getting, I don't think I spelled authorized right. Oh, fuck, hang on, let me. Sometimes what we can do, if we're not getting that many results, we can just search up authorized retailer as well. Now Starbucks is like a store where you're actually buying. Since Starbucks is a coffee store, it's a little bit harder, so maybe let's go to shopping and see if we can see any retailers that we could potentially use to get ungated. There's Sam's Club, there's Walmart potentially. I know Walmart actually can provide invoices now, so that's good. Now, if I wanted to take it to the next level, I can always search up like Starbucks wholesale. And I can actually see that there is this one store right here, Webstaurant Store. I'm familiar with Webstaurant Store. A lot of Amazon sellers actually use Webstaurant Store to actually get ungated to sell on Amazon. Now I know off the top of my head because I've actually ungated Starbucks 200 unit ungate, and it looks like we can get a case of 300 from this store for $246 right here. We can order this, get our invoice, return it back, and sell our Starbucks products that we wanted to sell on Amazon. This is a pretty entry-level way of getting ungated, but it's pretty effective and it should work. There's absolutely no reason why you should be submitting any sort of order confirmation or receipt or anything like that, because I promise it just won't work out for you. But once you actually acquire the invoice, I want you guys to come back to this page. You're gonna wanna check all of these boxes right here. So we can select our invoice right here, just click open. Make sure it's a PDF, don't say it's like a screenshot, so make it a PDF. If that doesn't work, you can always change the file name and that should upload. Then of course right here, you're gonna wanna upload your email and phone number that matches your Amazon selling account, and you're gonna wanna submit that to Amazon. Once you actually submit your application to get ungated, Amazon's gonna be sending you an email whether you've been approved or declined. And trust me, if you get denied, don't freak out. Once you actually submit your application, you can actually go into your Amazon Seller Central portal and look at all of your selling applications to actually resubmit if you got denied. Now I want to say, if the product that you're actually selling also requires a category ungate, you can use the exact same invoice that you're using for the brand to actually also get ungated for the category, as long as the unit requirement meets it. Although there's a ton of other things that you need to know to build your Amazon FBA store successfully. Yes, ungating is one piece of the puzzle, but we all know there's a ton of different things that could go wrong in your Amazon business. And it's important that you learn these things the right way the first time. Instead of having to jump from YouTube video to YouTube video and guessing on which products to buy and risking your Amazon seller account. So if you're someone that likes to learn things the right way the first time to avoid making costly mistakes, I highly recommend that you check out the first link down below on this video. That's a link to apply to learn from me one-on-one and get access to the inner circle. In the inner circle, there's a handful of things that I'm gonna be giving you and teaching you. The first thing is you're gonna get access to my full distributor list that carries almost every single brand on Amazon with invoices that are proven to work on Amazon, so you're not guessing. Along with the distributors, I'm gonna be providing you with my ungating template that I've used and all of my students have used to get ungated in some of the biggest brands on Amazon. I can't stress on how important it is to use the right template to actually get a hold of someone at seller support to make sure your application is approved. Other than that, you're gonna be getting access to a full course material that's gonna teach you the entire business A through Z. That's about 3 hours of course material. You're also going to be getting access to my group coaching Discord. Inside the Discord, I personally host 3 group coaching calls a week where we go over product sourcing, questions, ungating, actually helping you guys get the funding that you need, and just overall any topics that I feel like my students need help with the most to make sure they get the best results. There's also a ton more. Along with that, I'm also going to be helping you acquire a 0% APR business credit card so you can actually scale up the business. Capital is easily one of the most important things that you need to actually scale an Amazon business. Without it, you will not be able to scale. That's where me and my team come in and we personally help you get approved for one of these business credit cards with a solid limit that you'll need to actually scale. So if this sounds like something that can help you, go ahead, check out that first link down below and go ahead and book your call. Other than that, hope all of you enjoyed this video. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button and like if you haven't already, and turn on post notifications for more videos. But other than that, to the next one, guys. Peace.